Even my existing customers, they are saying like the price is so low and the app is amazing. Please increase the price.
How did this software engineer launch a product that made his first $1,000 in just 48 hours and he got his first customers with just a single tweet?
So I launched the product, tweeted about it. I put a video how you can create the directory. And after 4 hours, I got my first customer. That's it.
Meet Sergey, a software engineer who actually made a living running a successful software development agency, but then he lost it all.
Last year, I forced to close it because we didn't have customers and I wasn't able to bring new ones. So eventually we just closed.
With his back against the wall and time running out on his income and his savings, he decided to shift his focus to building his own products instead of building software for others. That's when he came up with the idea for Directify, a no-code tool that lets anyone create custom directory websites in just minutes. I gave Sergey a call to uncover exactly how he did it, and he shared the complete strategy, including how to use lifetime deals to get easy customers, how his entire SEO strategy uses a single script to write content for him, and how he gets paying customers by finding and sponsoring specific blogs and newsletters. This is Felix from Culture of Code. Let's dive in. Sergey, welcome to the show.
Hi, Felix. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, excited to have you on. So let's start from the beginning. What motivated you to begin this path of becoming a solo founder, indie hacking, creating your own SaaS business? Like, where did the idea and motivation come from?
Yeah, so it wasn't a just idea. I forced to do it actually. It was a choice that I made and I ran into the indie hackers accidentally. I used to own my software company where we were providing the software outsourcing services to other countries and eventually last year I forced to close it because we didn't have customers and I wasn't able to bring new ones. We lost a couple of customers during COVID, big ones, and I didn't know what to do. And I accidentally saw this in the indie hackers community Twitter.
So one thing you mentioned that was that you're able to build software and products quickly. Do you remember how long it took to launch the Directify MVP? Like how many hours, how many days you put into it?
Yeah, roughly 3 weeks, maybe less.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's pretty fast. And there's one thing about launching fast. It's not just about writing code quickly or using the starter kits that, like for example, that you've built, but also being able to be like ruthless about what features you're actually going to build and which ones you're going to cut and say no to more things than you say yes to. What's your process there? How did you decide like what actually needed to be part of the MVP where you would to get into a state where it was marketable?
That's the things that I learned the hard way because from our previous projects, and I think I will mention them a lot because I failed a lot in my previous projects. So what we were doing and what I learned from building public, we used to spend months of building the tools that we didn't know that will be used, right? And it's still running. It's a bookmark management tool. And we've created the first version of it without knowing if people need it or will use it. And then we decided to redesign it and create a second version of it with a lot of new features, again, without verifying and talking to customers. So we launched a lot of tools and it's a really good product, by the way. We spent months of development on it and a lot of money, a lot of time of my developers. It's working now, but it's not bringing any money. So it's the freemium version is so generous that people don't upgrade. So to answer your question, you don't need to build all the things that you have in your mind. You just can iterate later. You just need to take one feature that will be your main feature of the app, build it and launch it, and then iterate. So I was live for 4 months already. And when I remember the first features that we had and how in 4 months, how it grew right now, and the amount of features that has been added. Back then it was like very, very small product where you can just create directory, add listings, add categories, and that's it. Now we have a lot of integrations, a lot of ability to customize your design, your fonts, etc. But back then it was just like plain directory with a single template where you can add categories, listings, and that's it. So pick the main feature, create MVP, launch it, and then start to add features by receiving the response from the customers. You can have a lot of ideas in mind that you want to implement in the product, but your customers are the ones who will shape that ideas. You can still build what you want. You can still build the things that you feel that will bring value that your customers may be not aware about. But there are a lot of features that if you can acquire people who are into, in my case, who are into directories, who know what they need, who know which tools they are missing because they used other things previously, they can help you shape the product.
Yeah. So speaking of early customers, you got your first customer within 4 hours of
Yeah,
launching. And I think this was mostly done through social media. I think Twitter/X was the initial launch strategy. Tell us more about how you're able to get your first customer. And this was this a paying customer at launch?
yeah, yeah. So he got the lifetime deal in just 4 hours. It was the first customer who believed in the product because he didn't even just try the product. He just immediately bought the lifetime deal, and it happened after one tweet. So I launched the product, I put it live, and I tweeted about it that this is live. I put a video how you can create a directory, and yeah, after 4 hours, I got my first customer basically.
And you mentioned to us that most of the revenue is by lifetime deals, which is sometimes different than a lot of like SaaS business models where they focus more on like subscription revenue. How do you decide between promoting subscription pricing versus like a lifetime deal?
Yeah, I hope I will not regret this during my journey with Directify that I kept the lifetime deal for this long. So it's been a 4 month here, but I have the idea in my mind that I want to keep it up to the point where I feel that the project is solid enough to not sell a lifetime deal and start to put the effort to acquire people for a subscription. I have monthly subscribers. They are not a lot. So the price of my lifetime deal and subscription, the difference is just like 3 months, 4 months, and people just think, yeah, okay, I like this product, and if I will use it, so let me pay upfront for 3 months and use this product like forever. But currently I've added major features to Directify, and in a few days I plan to triple the price, because if you check the competitors who offer something similar, their pricing is so high. I think my lifetime deal is really a no-brainer right now to get it.
Yeah, let's talk about pricing. I think that's something that is often difficult to figure out, especially if you
Yeah.
have no customers yet and the data is just isn't there like it is for you today to know how much you can charge. Tell us about how you thought about how to price your product when you first launched.
Yeah, first I didn't know how to price it. Basically, as I think many of people who are launching, so you need to play with the pricing first. But I've checked the competitors. I saw their prices very high. I wanted to put it a little less, and at the same time, I wanted to not complicate the features for the users. So other SaaS apps, you can get like starter plan where you cannot connect custom domains, you're limited in your websites. Then you can get higher tier where you can add custom domain, remove watermark, etc. And I decided that I want to go with the different approach and not limit the features based on plans. So basically my plans right now is single directory, which is $90 per month, and it includes single website but with unlimited features, so you can have unlimited contributors, unlimited listings, and custom domains, no watermark. Then it's unlimited directories plan, which is basically the same, but there's no limits for the directories. And lifetime deal, again, everything is unlimited, and it's 199 right now. During the launch, the single directory was $24, but the rest was the same. So I decided to down a little bit the single directory price. I'm quite comfortable with the subscription pricing right now, but about the lifetime deal, even my existing customers who bought the lifetime deal, they are saying like the price is so low and the app is amazing. Please increase the price. And I had like few people telling me that. So now it's time to increase it because the value that it gives is so much more than it was 4 months ago.
That makes sense. So initially at launch, your approach was to just provide better value, a lower price than competitors. But now that you've iterated on it, you believe that the value has gone up enough to raise the prices. Was there ever a free tier? Like, what are your thoughts about free tiers?
There is no free tier, but you are getting 7 days free trial for the subscription plans. And the idea of raising the price is not only that it gives more value right now, but I also want to build kind of sustainable business. I need to have recurring subscription payments. I want to drive that as the lifetime deal is now lower. So it's like 3 months from the unlimited directories. I want to make it higher so people decide to get with subscription instead of the lifetime plan.
Yeah, it's always interesting where when you have multiple pricing tiers, like one tier can cannibalize another tier. Like it's really about sometimes driving people to a tier that is better for the business. And I think it's always a difficult balancing act. So I definitely hear the difficulty in figuring out what's the right price point for everything. So I want to talk about the long-term marketing strategy. We talked already about building in public, posting in social media, about DMs with people that have interacted with your posts. Those are all kind of immediate feedback. Usually you'll be able to get a sale or not pretty quickly there. But another strategy that has worked but takes longer is SEO, where you're running these blog posts. So for someone that doesn't know much about SEO and they have a business that they are about to launch or they have launched and they want to build a sustainable stream of quote unquote free traffic, how did you approach SEO? Like, how do you know what to write about?
So you need to find what people are searching for to find something similar to your product. For me, create online directory is the main keyword, or how to create online directory is the main keyword. While you can think that the main keyword can be like how to create no code directory or something like that, but people don't search that too much. So they basically search like create online directory. You can find that with a lot of tools. Actually, there is RFs, Google keyword research. You can find the keywords that have a good volume, etc., and you can start to write about them in a blog post. But what's the bad about SEO? Not the bad, but with SEO, when you write 10 blog posts and don't see any traffic or very low traffic increase, you need to give SEO the time, because after 3 months, after 6 months, you will see the results of your work. And if you be consistent, then it will work. But as you don't see immediate results, you may think that, yeah, this is not working, and I need to do something else, etc. So basically, for SEO, you need to build backlinks. The more backlinks you build your websites, the stronger it will be for search engines, and then your SEO will grow faster, basically.
Can you
And
say more about that? Like, what's your method? So backlinks are basically other websites that link back to your website or some part of your website. What's your process to like build these to get other websites to link back to you?
yeah, first of all, if you have other products, you basically just add your website link into your other websites in the footer, or you write blog post. You can do both. You can place it in multiple places. The best place to do it is just to add in the footer and write something like, you might also like this, or other products by this builder, and etc. That's the first thing that I do. I link my new product in my other products. And then there are a lot of directories, a lot of websites where you can mention your website. It's some of them is just like link in bio tools. You can have backlinks from blogs. For example, you can write like some guest posts in some blogs, or you can pay to be mentioned in someone's blog who is on the same niche. Basically, there are a lot of tools, a lot of directories where you can mention with a little money that you can pay. And best one is Product Hunt, which is free. You can launch on Product Hunt. If you even don't get any good results, let's say, you will have strong backlink for your website.
So you look at your blog now, actually, it's interesting. It looks like you found a way to make really scalable content where it's targeting very long tail keywords. Your whole thing is about building directories. So you have ones for blog posts about how to build a catering service directory, how to build a restaurant directory, and how to build a bookshops directory. So these are very long tail keywords. Are these actually already driving traffic today, or this is like the investment of the content that you're still waiting to see if traffic will come from these posts?
Yeah, they are not driving traffic yet, but I hope so. This is the pages that I've created actually programmatically. So it's called PSEO. It's also very important. It depends on which kind of product you have to decide how to do programmatic SEO. For my case, it was how to then the industry, how to create industry directories. I wrote a script that will get the initial content, change the industry, and let the AI to shape the article for that industry, and then just create it, I think around 100 pages. Then just polish them. You need to go through all the articles created by AI. By the way, if you do that automatically, you need to fix some issues that it do. But yeah, you can quickly create like hundreds or thousands of pages. If I had like 1,000 industries, I would include like 1,000 pages. It doesn't harm.
That makes sense. I like that approach of making it very scalable. So there's something you also talked to us about that I think is probably similar to SEO, or at least a way to get backlinks, is about sponsoring blogs and newsletters to acquire new users.
Yeah.
Tell us more about this. Like, where did this idea come from, and what's your process to find and sponsor these blogs and newsletters?
Yeah. So back then I was just trying everything and I was trying to see what will work for me. And the best thing that worked for Larafast and worked for Directify is newsletters and blog posts for the same niche that my products are. So for Larafast, for example, the target audience are the Laravel developers. So I found the people who have Laravel blogs, contacted them and basically said, hey, I have this tool and I want to promote it on your website. Are you interested, etc.? And some of them even contacted me about that. And the same for newsletter. Actually, there are a lot of newsletters for Laravel developers. There are a lot of newsletters for directory builders or SEO people, because the directory is about SEO. So you create directory to drive traffic to it, to then be able to get paid listings, etc. And that's how I basically found them. You can search on Twitter, search Laravel developers or Laravel blogs, and then contact the people who run them.
And how does the pricing work for there? How do you negotiate these deals in a way that would actually end up being profitable, so that the money that you pay for these sponsors will actually end up driving revenue that's like more than what you're paying for these sponsorships?
Yeah, it actually depends on the size of the traffic that that blog or newsletter have. Like for newsletter is the amount of subscribers for sure. And the pricing, it can start as low as like $49 or $99 to be mentioned in the newsletter, and up to $1,000, $2,000. It depends how you fit in that niche. But I'll be honest, not all blogs or newsletters worked for me. I ended up paying for it, but then it didn't work. And some of them I paid and I got a lot of customers from it. So it covered and the sponsorship costs and brought some revenue.
So we talked about a bunch of different marketing strategies, some that require more investment than others. For example, SEO require, I guess you could pay somebody. That's going to be a monetary investment, but it also takes time to create this content, takes time to see it work. We talked about sponsoring blogs and newsletters that actually cost money. Do you recommend people start here to validate their idea to get a bunch of traffic in, or do you recommend they start some other way to validate first, like maybe your approach of posting on social media to try to build up the organic traffic first? Like, do you recommend people just pay to validate quickly, or kind of do this more manual approach that you took to validate that way instead?
Yeah, you can do all concurrently, but if you're just launched, I would not go to pay some newsletters or blogs to mention about you. So first, just start by posting about it, by writing tweets or threads or LinkedIn, Reddit, Hacker News. There are a lot of platforms where you can get that initial kick for your SaaS application. And then doing that concurrently, you can start to build your blog. You can do your SEO. By the way, it's better to start with SEO like from day one. You don't need to have 100 blog posts from day one, but you need to have good keywords. You need to check your meta titles, open graph titles. So because you will share about your product, you will put links somewhere, and it's good to have open graph metadata there. It's good to have like SEO title, SEO description, so it can be searchable for search engines. You need to have your sitemap placed. That things you need to do from day one. But you don't need to have like 100 blog posts from day one. You can post about your progress on Twitter or on Reddit, and concurrently create one blog post a week or one a day. It depends how much time you have to do that. But you need to do all of this to have a good package for your SaaS, basically.
So I think one interesting perspective that you might have that might match other audience members is that you built this on the side. So if someone else wants to start building SaaS products on the side, they only have, let's say, 10 hours a week to work on it on nights and weekends. What should they focus their time on? What do you think that they should make sure they're not wasting their time on? What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, wake up early, work on your side project, then do your main work, then work 1 or 2 hours on the evening and go to sleep early. Then wake up earlier and do the same thing. And then, of course, weekends is fully yours, so you can take your time to work on weekends.
Yeah, so no shortcuts to creating more time here. But what are your thoughts on like what should they focus on if they only have a few hours, a couple hours a day? Like what do you recommend people focus, especially early on?
If they don't have time to invest on videos, maybe make creating videos or creating good content, it will be SEO, I think, because SEO creates kind of, it's a long-term investment. You invest in it, and by invest I mean you invest your time in it, right? But then you can spend even less time on SEO because it will continue to bring you traffic even if you don't post anything. If you have good SEO, of course, it will not work for everyone, but it will continue to bring you traffic and you can focus on.
So I leave this last question. Let's say that you lost all your SaaS businesses, the multiples that you have, and you got to start all over. How would you go about finding an idea, launching quickly, and getting paying customers quickly? You got to do it again.
Mhm.
What's your game plan?
Yeah, I actually have a lot of ideas on the side that I just write in my to-do list, so I will take them whenever I have time to do them. That's the one thing. But I think this is what I would do. You can take some app that you like, some product that you like, check what you don't like about them, and create basically smaller version of bigger app with smaller functionality, and find people who need that. Talk to people. Again, to understand if people need that or not, you need to talk about it on social media. You need to bring that in front of people to get the response and understand if people need that too.
I like that. So basically, one way to come up with ideas is to find a product that you know about and hyper focus on specific features that you think are lacking or they're missing or they're not doing well, and potentially targeting just building software around just those features as an idea. I like that approach.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for your time, Sergey. Thanks so much for coming on and sharing your journey, your advice, and your experience with us.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.